Okay, let us start the class. So if people take the screenshots today, let us see how it goes, and if the running notes was comfortable, then we can switch to that older thing. Okay, so we have discussed about arrays chapter little bit in the previous class. So we will continue that part. So in the previous class, we have saw the definition of array, definition of subscript, and example how to create an array. Okay, uh, so this is the example. That means if we use variables which store single values, and if we use variable which can store more than one value, so what is the advantage and all. So and afterwards subscript. What in the meaning of subscript? So meaning of subscript is nothing but the index or position of each element in an array. If you look at this particular diagram, so here, so this variable that is a, it is called as an array which can store five values. So first value position is 0, second value is 1, third value is 2, fourth value is 3, fifth value is 4. Okay, so in this way, so we came to know the subscript or index value. So and subscript will start from 0, will not be floating point number, will not be negative number. Okay, and we uh, just a minute. Okay, so I think we have saw the types of arrays one dimensional array, but still today we will I will revise that. Okay, particularly types of array, so that we can it will become more perfect with that. So in arrays we have three types: one dimensional, two dimensional, and multi-dimensional. So here the meaning of dimension. So from English or from mathematics or from other than the programming language, what we can understand is like dimension means direction, okay, or one way, like that, okay. So if we want to call in programming language, like one dimension means we can call either a row or a column, not both, either a row or a column. You have to consider one, either row or column, okay. And if you tell two dimensions, rows and columns, both we have to consider, okay. So I think in mathematics we might have come across like graphs, x-axis, y-axis. So if you consider only x-axis or only y-axis, then we can call one dimension. So if you consider both the axis, x and y, then two dimension. So more than x and y, that is more than two dimensions, we can call it as multi-dimensional array. Okay. So coming to the one-dimensional array. So one-dimensional array is a collection of elements with same name and same type. See, this definition is same for all the dimensions of arrays. That is, array means collection, group, list, or something like listing of elements, items. Okay, with same name and same type. So the meaning of same name and same type is whatever you collect the items that should belong to the same category. We can say same category. Okay, and all the elements in that category should belong to the same type. So I have given some real world examples like collection of textbooks. If I say collection of textbooks, if you are collecting only computer science textbooks, then for that we can call it as an array. Or if you are collecting only physics textbooks, for that we can call it as an array. Okay, if we mix two things like three computer books and three physics books, then grouping together will not become array, because all the items in that particular group should belong to one type. Okay, then only we can call it as an array. That is the meaning of same name and type. Okay, and extra thing here in one dimensional is you have to consider this one subscript value. So one subscript value means like if you look at this memory representation of array, if you look at the values part, if you want to refer to particular value, we can refer by one dimension. One dimension means here you, in two dimension you will come to know how it is. So one dimension means like if I want to refer to the first value, so that the dimension or a subscript or index is 0. Okay, from this number 0 you can refer to the first value, and from this integer 1 you can refer to the second value, from integer 2 you can refer to the third value. So values part and index or subscript part, which indicates positions of the elements in an array. Okay, so if you're considering one subscript value, so then it is called as one dimension. So one subscript value means if you look at the syntax you can understand. So data type, array name, size. So here size indicates how many values we can store in the particular array. So if you look at this memory representation, so here we can store 5 values less than that or equals to that, not more than that. Okay, so that is the size. You look at the syntax here, data type array name. So here array name is an identifier. So you have to remember the identifier rules and write the array name. Okay, array is also called as variable because it can store the values. So any identifier which stores the value can be called as any identifier which stores the values can be called as variable. Okay, so where data type can be any basic type such as int, float, char or double. So when we consider data types, you have to consider three main types: basic types, derived types and user defined types. So when you write this syntax for this data type, you can consider either int or float or char or double, or derived types or user defined types. So derived types and user defined types are two categories, and int, float, char or double comes in basic types. Okay, the array name is a valid identifier. So when you write the array name, you should be careful that you should follow all identifier rules and write the array name. Okay, size indicates the maximum number of elements that an array can store. So how many elements you can store in that array, that is indicated by the size. Less than this you can store, but not more than that. Okay, so here you consider the example, you just compare with the syntax. So wherever the data type is there, you have to write the data type. So here in the examples I'm using basic types. Okay, int is a basic type, that is integer. A is a array name. So as I said, it is an identifier. So just follow the identifier rules and write. Single letters can be used as identifiers. So just to recap identifier rules, like blank space is not allowed, first character should not be digit, keywords not allowed, and underscore symbol is only allowed, not other symbols. Okay, and that too not compulsory. Okay, by remembering these rules, so you can write the array name. Okay, A is an array name, 5 is the size of an array. So in this example, the identifier A is an array of type int. Okay, and the size of an array is 5. That means you can store maximum 5 values, not more than that. So actually when I tested yesterday in the editor part, so if I give the size here, like if I have given 5, right, so I have tested with storing more values, it is allowing one more extra value. Okay, so that actually I have to research on that, why it is like that. And if I try to give 6 values, it is accepting, but if I try to give 7 values, it is not accepting. One extra value it is allowing. The thing is, memory locations means, like if you consider 64k RAM, 64 kilobytes of memory, so it starts from 0 and it ends at 65535 locations. So much memory locations will be there. So one more extra location it is taking. So here float b, float is a data type, b is an array, 5 is the size. Okay, so when you declare float b of 5, you should store only floating point numbers, not integer numbers. So you should be careful in writing data type. So whatever the data type you are writing, all the values in that particular array should belongs to the same type. Okay, so you look at this example, you will understand. 1 minute. Okay, so in the first example, what I have done, so int a of 5, so a is an array, 5 is the maximum size. Okay, so you consider the values here, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. See, this part is called as initialization. So initialization in the sense, when you declare the variable, in that at that point only if you are giving the value, that is called as initialization. So little bit I will explain on that. See, so general form of declaring variable is, that is syntax is data type variable. Okay, so this is the general form. Next, if I say int a, okay, so if you stop at this point and put semicolon, this is just called as a declaration. Okay, because we are not given values, you should not call it as initialization, only declaration. Okay, at the next line also you can write the value in this way. Two statements I have written. Declaring the variable, initializing the value. Okay, so at this point you can say we are giving initial value. Okay, so those two statements can be combined by using this statement. See, a is equals to 10. So here what I have done, at the time of declaration only I am giving the value. Now here we can call it as initialization. Okay, so that means giving initial value to the variable at the time of declaration only. This statement is also called as declaration and initialization, because whenever you come across the data type, then it is called declaration. Okay, and whenever you come across the value, that is called initialization. So this statement we can call either declaration plus initialization. So instead of writing two statements, I have written in one statement. Similarly, when we go to the array concept, so int is a data type, a is an array name. So this is the this square brackets or brackets are used to mention the size here. So if I'm mentioning 5, so 5 values you can store in this. Okay. So in the see in the next line, if I can store like this, so a of 0 is equals to 10. In this way I can store. But so instead of storing like that, if I say int a of 5 is equals to, so how many values I can store? 5 values, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this way 5 values you can store. So you just compare this particular statement and this particular statement, you will understand. So immediately after a I am equals to 10 I am giving. Okay, so here only I am giving the value at the time of declaration. Here also immediately after declaring the variable, so array I am giving the value, so 5 values I am giving. So this is called an initialization. See, one topic is there called initialization of an array. There we will discuss in detail. So why I am telling here is, like, just you know, you need to understand this memory representation. For that purpose I am telling. So in this memory representation, 5 locations you have to take. In the 5 locations you have to write these values, and for all the values you need to mention the size. So for first value mention the size as 0, second value 1, third value 2, fourth value 3, fifth value 4. Array locations starts from 0, not from 1. But in real world, if I want to call, we will call it as first element, not a 0th element. So this point you remember. In real world, we will call it as first element, that is indicated by position 0. In real world, we will call it as second element, that is indicated by position 1 in that. So if you go to the array, you have to consider -1. That's all. From real world to array, you have to consider -1. So third element indicated by position 2, fourth element indicated by position 3, fifth element indicated by position 4. Now, if I want to access any element, so you have to consider the array name plus position. You look at these elements. A is an array name, 0 is the location, that is subscript value, 10 is the value. So I think you might have understood. See, what all the statements have written here, these are not exact C statements, because here this is also called as initialization. So once again I'm telling, there is an initialization topic, there I will discuss. I wanted to tell you at this point, like, array name subscript value gives the exact value. A is an array name, subscript value is 0, 10 is the actual value. A is an array name, 1 is the subscript value, that is index value, 20 is the actual value. So here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are the subscript values or index values, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 are the actual values. So when you come to the second example, you just compare the declaration part, that is int a of 5 is equals to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, right? You compare the declaration statement. Here what I have given, int a of 5, that is number of elements you can store is 5, but I am storing only 2, 10 and 20. Rest 3 locations are there. Those 3 locations will be stored by the value 0. You look at the memory representation, you will understand. If you are giving less values than the actual size, then the remaining locations will be stored by the value 0 automatically. Okay, so 10, 20, remaining 3 locations will be stored by 0. If you come to the third example, so here you are giving size as 4, but you are trying to store more values here. See, 4 and I am storing 6 values, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this is wrong initialization. Array size is 4, but the values are 6. Okay, so for 2 minutes I will stop. If you have any doubts, you can ask. And meanwhile, you people can take the screenshot also. So those who have not attended the previous class, like, so I will, that means I will start from first. That means for taking screenshots, I will start from first. So 2-3 minutes I will wait. So this is the first screen of the arrays chapter. So I will wait for 1 minute. So you can take the screenshot of this. Next we will move further. Okay, so next page. So just a minute, I will maximize this. Okay. Okay, so take the screenshot of this. Once you're done, just put a message.
I have a question here in the properties of subscript or index
Okay, sir.
or location or position. The second line says the index value. The third one, no,
Ah,
second, the index value will not be a floating point number.
ah.
But in the example that you showed, it also mentioned that it can be a floating point, right? Because if you see that float B, we have
Yes, 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 yes. There are two things here: actual value and index value. You just look at this. Okay, fine. I will go to this point, this screen. So here, say in the memory representation in both of the examples, I have put the separate box like values part and index part. If you look at the values part box can be either integer numbers or floating point values. Those are the actual values. When you look at the subscript or index part, that should be only integers.
okay.
Hmm.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So now, wait. Okay, so what are the explanation I have done for example 1, 2? So these examples actually indicate the initialization of one-dimensional array. Okay, that is the topic. So initialization of variables also we have discussed. Similarly, initialization of one-dimensional array. Array means group or list or collection. That means we can store either one value or more than one value. So if you are trying to store more than one value, so there are two possibilities. One is at the time of declaration only we can store the values. See here, we can assign the values of an array at the time of declaration of an array. So we can assign the values of an array at the time of declaration of an array. That is called initialization. So these two are the examples, right? Third one example, as you know, like array size is 4, but we are trying to store more values, more than 4. So it will give us error. Okay. And one more thing is in case of values which store sorry, in case of variables which store single values, so there also we have initialization part, as well as we can store the values by using scanf statement. That is, user will input the values on the console. So in arrays also we have that option, like user giving the values at the time of execution, that is on the console. That is the next topic we will see, to input the values of an array, to output the values of an array. So this part is initialization. Now we can take the screenshot of this. Okay, so we will move further. Here only little bit explanation I will do it. See, when we write an array, that is particularly declaration and initialization. If suppose, see, if I say int a of 5, okay, so this is just the declaration. You just will try to understand. Okay, where 5 locations are given for array A with no values, or we can consider 0, or compiler will give some values. Okay, next thing is we can say int a of 5, sorry, 5 is equals to, like, our own values, we can give any values. Okay, just random but separated by commas. Okay, 11, 21, so just I'm giving random values. Okay, but 5 values. Okay, okay, so this is one way. So another way is, so int a of, sorry, 5, so just put a semicolon here, end the declaration. Then in the next line what you can do, see, you observe these memory locations. So 5, size 5 means 5 locations with index values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay, so what I can do is, like, instead of writing in this way within braces, go to the next line. Each individual line you can write like this. So int sorry, a of 0 is equals to, say for example, see the same values I can write like this, 11, and put a semicolon here. So this is the end of the statement, indicating 11 is stored in location 0. Once again I'm telling, 11 is stored in location 0, that is the first element. Okay, so in real world, if we consider, this is the first element. Okay, next, a of 1, so is equals to 21. So 21 is stored in position 1. Okay, this is the second element. This is second element, but it is stored in position 1. So in terms of array, as I said, always you have to consider -1. Okay, so int a of 2 is equals to, like, 99, or whatever the value we have taken. So this is the third element stored in position 2. Okay, a of 3 is equals to, like, 100. So 100 is the element which is stored in position 3. So next 4. So if you are reaching 4, that is the end, because array size is 5, ends at -1, 5 minus 1, that is 4, starts from 0, ends at -1, that is 5 minus 1, 4. So if you count, there are 5 values here, okay. Starts from 0, ends at 4, but has 5 values. So this is the one, this is another way of initialization, okay. Okay, next point we will see. See, to print the values of one dimensional array, okay. So if you want, you can, instead of screenshot, quickly you can take this, just write it. Okay, so we will move further. So to print the values of one dimensional array. So whenever you consider the values which are stored in memory, so when we print it, it will be displayed on the screen and it is visible by the user. So similarly, so when we consider the array, so in array we are storing more than one value by specifying the size. So size indicates maximum values, how much we can store. Position indicates how we can access the elements. By indicating the position, we can get the particular element of the location, okay. So you look at this example. So example, int a of 5 is equals to, I'm storing 5 values. See, just I have taken easy values 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. You can take any values here, okay. So actual values you can take anything, but subscript values you need not take anything. It is assigned by the compiler, that is in the memory only. So it will start from 0 and ends at -1, size -1. It will end at size -1. So here it is 5, it is ending at 4, okay. Always starts from 0, so that we cannot take any values, that is fixed, okay, depending on the array size. But actual values you can write anything. So whatever they have written in braces, that is floor bracket, those are the actual values. So we can take anything, okay. So here I have taken 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So if you observe here, 10 will be stored in first location, that is 0. 20 is stored in 20 is stored in second location, that is 1. 30 is stored in third location, that is 2. See, you just concentrate on my sentence, what I am telling. So 30 is stored in third location and its position is 2. So this is very, very important, okay. 40 is stored in fourth location and its position is 3. 50 is stored in fifth location and its position is 4, okay. So when you talk about real world and array, you should be very careful, okay. First location means in terms of array it is 0. Second location means in terms of array it is 1, okay, in that way. So now if I want to print these values on the screen, so either vertically or horizontally, that is each value in each line or all the values in the same line. So these are the printf statements what we can use, okay. Printf %d, if you use \n, so values are printed on each line, that is individual lines. If you use \t on the same line, but space will be provided between first and second value, second and third value, in that way. So just we will look at the first thing, okay. %d \n, comma a of 0. A is an array name, 0 is the location. So when you mention both the things like array name and location or subscript or index, then only we will get an element. Just if you mention only location or only array name, then we will not get the value, actual value. So we have to mention both array name plus location. So you have to read it as a of 0. So square bracket means you have to read it as a of 0. So %d \n a of 0, %d \n a of 1, similarly a of 2, a of 3, a of 4. So you have to mention array name, and within the bracket you have to mention the subscript value, that is subscript or nothing but index values, okay. when you mention the array name and index values, then you can expect the values on the screen. So a of 0 means it will print the first value, that is 10. A of 1, second value 20. A of 2, third value 30. A of 3, fourth value 40. A of 4, fifth value 50. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 is printed on separate lines because of backslash n. Now if you look at this printf statement, instead of backslash n I have used backslash t. Remaining thing is same. A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3, A of 4. So printed on the same line separated by some space here. Backslash t indicates tab. It will provide the horizontal space. Okay. So this is how we are printing the values of one dimensional array. That is by initializing the values in the program itself, and then we are printing. So in the next topics, we can input the values from the console and we can store it in memory. Then we can print. Okay. So now we can take the screenshot of this. So is my voice audible to all? I think.
ಹಾ ಗುರು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ
Okay,
ಇದೆ.
fine. Okay, take the screenshot. Once you have done, let me know. Okay. So now, some things are not present in this Word document. I will explain in Notepad. You just observe. Okay. See, we have written like just a minute. Okay, let me write it. So printf. Just wait for a minute. I will be writing. So %d backslash n a of 0. Okay. So this is the line which prints first value, right? So next, if I take okay, so a of 1 will print the second value, a of 2 will print the third value, a of 3 will print the fourth value, a of 4 will print the fifth value. So either this way, or one more thing is like, okay, instead of backslash n, backslash t. So anyways, but here one more thing we will get it in mind, that is instead of writing 5 printf statements, so we can write within one printf like %d backslash n. Okay, see this only I will copy it 5 times in the same line. So that option we have. Sorry. Okay, so 5 values are printed. Okay, in individual lines only. You should not consider like here I have given space, so it will print on the same line. Because of backslash and 100% it will go to the next line. Okay, so a of 0. So similarly, a of 1, a of 2, a of 3, a of 4. Okay. See, suppose if we have like 100 values, either we have to write 100 printf statements, or we have to write in the same printf 100 times %d backslash n, then a of 0, a of 1 up to a of 99. Okay, so either 100 printf statements, or in the one printf statement only we have to keep on writing like 100 times %d a of 0 to a of 99 if we have 100 values. So to avoid this, so that means See, more coding will be there. So programming means we have to code the less, and output we have to expect more. So that is the thing. So for that reason, what we can take is like this you can consider, that is for loop. So looping concept we have. So looping advantage we are getting here. How we can write it? Okay. See, you observe here, printf statements have written 5 times, whether in backslash n or backslash t. Can I achieve this execution, that is printf executing 5 times, but I have tried only once, and even not even this percent d also 5 times, okay, 5 or 100 times what I said, only one time percent d backslash and a of something, I will tell you what is that. By writing this I have to achieve this, that is it should execute 5 times. So that is possible either by using while loop or by using do while loop or by using for loop. But best thing for arrays is for loop. Okay, so we have taken for loop here. You just look at the sentence: the above code can be written by using for loop as shown below. Okay, the above code can be written by using for loop as shown below. So how to write, I will tell you. You look at the size first. Okay, so size is 5. Okay, and you look at the starting location. Starting location is 0. Okay, and you look at the locations, that is by how many times it is incrementing each time. Okay, so from 0 to 1, that is one time. From 1 to 2, one time, like, okay, from 2 to 3, one time. That means index will be increasing by only one time. So after 0 it is not 2 directly, or after 1 it is not directly 3 or 5. Okay, it is increasing by only one time. So first, three things you remember. One is starting location, another one is maximum size, another thing is by how many times it is increasing. Okay, so starting location is 0 and size is 5, it is increasing by 1. So from that you can write the for loop. So I stands for index. So in the previous for loop examples or while or do while loop examples, I have taken variable I. So I used to tell, we will come to know in future. So here we came to know why we are using I. So it is nothing like you have to use I here. If you don't use I, or if you use instead of I small letter a is equals to 0, a less than 5, a plus plus, then only then also it is correct. Okay, so already we have a, instead of a you can take b is equals to 0, b less than 5, b plus plus, a of b. In that way also you can write it is correct. But why they are using I means easily we can remember I stands for index. Okay, index means in the textbook you might have observed in the starting page of the textbook, like index will be given chapter names, index and all. So that is the meaning here. So index means locations, position of each element. Okay, so starting location is 0, so only you have to take I is equals to 0. Maximum size is 5, so you have to take I less than 5, and it is increasing by one time. Locations are increasing by one time, so you have to take I plus plus. So this is how we write the for loop. So for I is equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Then printf percent d a of 1. Instead of directly writing constant values, like I have written a of 0, a of 1, a of 2, a of 3, a of 4. Here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are constant values. Instead of writing constant values, here you have to write variable. So variable means it keeps on changing. So I means I will be 0 first time, next time it will become 1, next time it will become 2, next 3, next 4. So in that way we are getting 5 values here by just by writing one printf statement. Or for loop, same for loop, instead of backslash n you can write backslash t. Okay, so in this way we can achieve like writing one time printf statement but executing more times and printing all the values of an array. Okay, so now you can take this screenshot.
Pradeep,
Sir.
in case of array numbers more than 5 ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಲೂಪ್ ನೊಳಗೆ ಐ is less than ನಾವ್ ಎಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹಚ್ಚಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಆಗ್ತದಲ್ಲ.
Yes, correct. So in that case, size also you have to give int a of 5. There instead of 5 you can give 10 there, like 10, 11, how much?
ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Okay.
ಭಾರಿ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾ. ಅಲ್ಲಿನೂ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀನಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ನಾಗ ಹೊಡಿತಿರ್ತೇನೆ ಗೋಲಿ ಡ್ಯಾವ್ 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 ಡ್ಯಾವ್. ಇನ್ನು 5 ದಿವಸ.
So please mute it on your side. Okay. So we'll move further. Okay, I think these two for loops, I think it has not come within the screen. So once again, you can take this. Okay, anyways, this kind of for loop we have in this program, that is in this tracing part. You need not worry. So we can discuss here. See here, the same thing, the same for loop, what I have taken in the previous code, for that I have done the tracing. Okay, you can just observe this and we will discuss on this, okay, how it works. Fine. We look at this, okay, int a of 5, so a is the array name, int is the data type, 5 is the maximum size, how much values we can store. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, what I have taken the values in the previous example, same thing I have taken here. So you just look at this memory representation, actual values 10 to 50 and sorry 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and index values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is array A. So here I have directly written for loop code. Okay, I have not written printf a of 0, printf a of 1 in that way. Direct for loop code I have written. So from now onwards we can use for loop code. Okay, instead of writing 5 printf statements or 6 printf statements like that, direct for loop code we will write it and we will try to understand. Okay, for I is equals to 0, starting location, that is starting index, I less than 5, so that is the maximum size of an array, I plus plus, so we have to increment by 1 because locations are increasing by 1 value, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next printf %d \t indicates tab key, so which leaves space between the values. A of I, so A means array, I is the index value, that we have considered it as index, variable. So why we have considered variables? So it should keep on changing. So first time it should be A of 0, second time it should become A of 1 in that way. So you look at the tracing part here. So I is equals to 0, I equals to 0, I less than 5. So you substitute the value of I here, 0 less than 5. So condition is true. I hope you people have understood the for loop tracing. Okay, I hope so people have got it, for loop tracing. So if you have got the for loop tracing, this tracing becomes very easy. It's not a problem at all. So 0 less than 5, condition is true. Print a of I. So in the tracing part, as I said, it's just like rough work. You need not worry about whether I have not written %d \t and all. So this is just like a rough work. You can write in your own way in the sense. Just look at the code and write how you can understand. Okay, print a of I. So I means index value. So that will be replaced by the value 0 because I value is 0 here. So print a of I indicates print a of 0. So print the value that is in the first location. Okay, in the first location we have the value 10. So 10 is printed. So after print statement is executed, as we know from the for loop, after the statement is executed, it has to go to the increment step, that is I plus plus. I hope you people know. First statement is initialization, second statement of execution is condition, third statement is not increment, it is the print statement. Print means in the sense whatever statement we have written. Next statement is increment. Then afterwards I is equals to 0 will not execute. That is executed only once. Then afterwards I less than 5 print statement I plus plus. I less than 5 print statement I plus plus. These three statements are repeated. Okay. So once I value is incremented by 1, again check the condition, 1 less than 5, condition is true, print a of 5. So print a of 5 means a of 1. So I value will be 1 now. So a of 1 indicates value which is stored at location 1. You look at the memory representation, value stored at location 1 is 20. So that is printed. So \t is there. So it will print on the same line by leaving space in between the values. After printing, again I plus plus. So I is equals to 2. So I have to substitute the new value of 5 each time in the condition. Okay. So I less than 5, 2 less than 5. So here you have to consider the value of I as 2. Okay. 2 less than 5, condition is true. Print a of I. So again here I value will be replaced by the value 2. So print a of 2. So value stored at location 2 is 30.